Okay, we're going to start the law enforcement meeting. Is there anyone here that wants to talk tonight? If you'll sign in over there. So everyone has the minutes in front of them. Does anyone need to add anything or do we have a motion to approve these? Motion to approve by Whitaker and second by Gregory. So, Ray, do you have the sheriff's report?
Yeah, it's gonna be listed. Okay, gonna run over some numbers here on our sheriff's report. We worked 10 accidents. We wrote 106 citations. Intakes at the jail. We intake 78 people, release 69 for the month. Warrants entered, we entered 147 warrants and we completed 172. Complaints that came in through the sheriff's department, we had 1,733, 363 traffic stops. We had 111 adult incidents and 10 juveniles. We worked 125 different cases, cleared 95 of them, still working on 30. Persons arrested was 76. 11 people was issued criminal summonses to come in and serve. And persons arrested into custody, 44. Domestic violence incidents, we had 8 of those and made 3 arrests out of the domestic violence.
Is 300, isn't that a traffic tickets, isn't that a lot more than normal?
What's that?
Did you say over 300 traffic citations?
We made 363 traffic stops.
Has it always been that much and I've just missed it?
Yeah. And out of 362, we wrote 106 citations and 12 warnings.
Hey, sorry, I ran here from out of town. Got here as quick as what I could. So Judy Kerr just turned into Amber Russell. Do you have anything else that you wanted to tell us from your reports?
No, that's pretty much it, on our report. Under other, I brought it up, last month at the end of the meeting about the inmate board bill, where we get paid from the state of Tennessee for housing state inmates. I'd like to do a resolution where we could take that money and put it into a fund where it would stay with the jail to help either pay for the jail or expansion in the future or upkeep of the jail is what it's designed to do. Over the past years, we've just been running it into general fund And, right now I'm not able to house as many state inmates as I have in the past. I think I've got 16 today locked up. I left the jail earlier today. We had 49 people locked up, 8 females, rest males. And, I talked to someone on the budget committee about it, about doing this resolution. They think it'd be a good idea too. From the commissary money, the phone money, and the inmate money that comes in.
Do we have anybody that would like to speak to that?
I have a question about it.
Mhm.
Amber and I discussed that just very, very, very shortly with someone the other day. And the initial response was not taken well, and I wanted to understand fully your intentions, what you're wanting, and is there some way that's going to take money out of the regular account that it goes to right now?
Well, right now it's going to the general fund. 10, 15, 20 years ago, I used to have 20, 25 state inmates. And I would generate about $350,000 a year. And I tried to get the commission to do it 20 years ago to take this money and put it into a fund. If we would have done that 20 years ago, here we are talking about building a jail, that money could have been used to start the new jail with. And a lot of counties do this. And right now, this year, I won't bring in 200,000 because I'm under, right now we're under a plan of action with the state of Tennessee. I'm overcrowded right now. 38, I'm considered full. I got 49 today. And right now would be a good time to do it because I'm not going to bring in around maybe 200,000 this year or less. What I'm looking at in the future, when we do get the new jail built, we'd probably up that to around 40 inmates, and plus the comrades in the phone service, it'd probably generate about $1 million a year. You can take that money and pay it on the principal for the new jail or make payments with it, or you can keep it into a fund for future expansion. Or if you had a air conditioning unit went out, instead of pulling it out of general fund, you could pull it out of this budget. Right now would be a good time to do it because you wouldn't really miss it that much. No more than what I brought in the last couple of years because we're under this plan of action. But once it gets up to, like I say, bringing in close to $1 million a year, it'll make a big difference then. It's just whatever the commission wants to do. A lot of counties do this. And right now that the money goes into the general fund, and I don't get anything out of it for the department.
Not saying this is a good or a bad idea, but of course, the budget hearings will start next week. Every commissioner should be getting a copy of the draft budget this week. I reviewed it, of course, end of last week, meeting with Jack and Amy, and putting $200,000 to $300,000 hole in the budget may not be the best idea this year, especially when everyone sees what we're looking at. Like I said, also keep in mind, of course, we don't know what the new core civic contract will look like, but I think our intention with that is that administrative fee, whatever they wind up paying, it's currently $300. We're looking to go up on that. I think whatever comes in from that, most of that is intended to go toward the sheriff's department. So, like I said, I feel like it might be premature to do it right now. Like I said, it's certainly something we can look at and discuss during budget hearings. I don't know that we necessarily ought to do anything here right now, and that's just my feeling.
It's just whatever the commission wants to do. I'm just looking to the future. 20 years from now, we get a new jail built, we have to add on to it or help pay for the one we're getting ready to build. That's one way to do it. I'm just giving some ideas, everybody, why we're gonna pay for it. I'm just trying to put some ideas out there.
Sheriff, I think it's a great idea. I'm gonna go ahead and second that motion. And as I've been hearing through the commission for the last 2 years, are we proactive or reactive? So y'all pick it up from there.
I second it.
Then I'll take the motion. Commissary, board bill, telephones. And
And also too, they're getting ready to raise the cap on the board bill. It's going to go up $3 a day from where it's at now. It's $41 a day and it's getting ready to go to 44.
Where do we want this money to go? Right, directly?
Well, it
back
had to be a
you?
resolution done to put it into a fund for itself.
Right. You want a fund by itself? Do you want it back in 171? In its
It'd have its own,
own?
yeah.
So I was thinking if we had put all of the money that we're putting in this capital projects, this big smorgasbord, if we had done that just for the jail, it maybe could have gone in there, but it didn't.
Yeah,
start that
it
way.
needs to be put to itself and, like I say, in the future, we get a new jail built in the next 3 or 4 years, any upkeep, pull that money out, do repairs or any improvements. Or they could pay the principal on the new jail with it. They're just trying to figure out ways to keep the taxpayers from paying more money in taxes. This would be one way to do it.
And could it also be used if you need more personnel? Or would it
No,
be-
it can only be used for expansion, building and upkeep.
Your motion was to push it on to the county commission. That's what I thought.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so this can be forwarded on, and it will probably be a good sized discussion whenever it gets to the main body, because it's gonna be taking the 300,000 out of the general. I had asked whether or not that was something that was always in the fund and it was recently taken out, or
I think she actually budgeted 200,000 to bring in this year on it. And I don't know if I'm gonna make it to that much or not, because the number of prisoners I'm able to keep has been low because of our plan of action overcrowding.
I have a question. The words being used are it's gonna take 200,000 or 300,000 out of that budget. How has that 200 or 300 been used?
It's just been running to general fund use for everything, anything.
Not to you all?
No, not to us. Yeah, we don't get anything from. Most jails get this money and use it, like I say, to upkeep their jails with, and most counties do this. Like I say, I tried to do it about 20 years ago and the county commission didn't want to do it then. If we'd have done it 20 years ago, about 300,000 a year, it'd been that much we would have had for the new jail. Saved up.
I have one more question for you. Do you think there's ever been a year that the sheriff's department got more money out of the general fund than this would have had in it? Is it to your benefit not to take it out? Is what I'm asking.
Well, it really doesn't benefit my department any. Uh, the only time I've ever asked for any money from it was to put a new roof on the jail and, put that chain link Sally Port up. Over the last 30 years, that's the only money I've ever spent out of it. But it's all goes in the general fund though.
Yeah, just to clarify on Ray's point about not making the expectation on that this year. I've called up this month's budget finance agenda, the budget report that we got, through the budgeted amount for contracted prisoner board this year was 204,000 through end of March. That revenue that come in was 76,834. So just over a third of what was anticipated. So yeah, he's correct in that he's not able to house nearly as many as he has in the past.
Yeah, right now I've got more than normal. I've got 15 today, state inmates. And trying to get beds, we've called for beds for some of them. Some of them are sex offenders. I try to get out of our jails. And I'm waiting now for bed space from the state. I'm waiting for bed space to get rid of some of them we got because we're overcrowded, because we're under this plan of action. They certified our jail 2 months ago, and we just barely was right on the line being overcrowded. So they went ahead and passed us, but if they came in today, we wouldn't pass.
Do you have a roundabout figure off the top of your head that we pay other counties to house people that we're not able to?
Well, right now I've got prisoners in Davidson County. I've got prisoners in Robinson County, Wilson County, and they're not charging me anything. They could, but they haven't been. It would cost us probably $100,000 a year at least if they charged us what people have been housing for us.
So they would be getting, say, this money would be going to those jails. Like if they're surrounding counties and they're already doing this, instead of going into the general fund, going back to their departments. So they're already able to collect what you're asking for.
Yeah, some of them are doing what I'm asking to do. And some jails get charged for, I know the jail north of here, they're paying about the size of us, a little bit smaller. They're paying out $300,000 a year for inmates housing them, other counties housing them for them. And they're in the same situation we're in. They're trying to build a new jail too. And they're actually bed space is a little smaller than ours. The bad thing about when they housing for me, we have court, I got to go pick them up, go get them, bring them back to court and transfer them back and forth.
So this resolution won't be on this month's because it's this evening. You'll be here next month to speak on it.
Yeah. I'll talk with the mayor about it and talk with the chair about it. And they sound like they're on board with it also. It's just something that I think would benefit the county in the long run and helping to get the jail paid for and take some burden off the taxpayers. Because once we get this built, like I'm saying, we bring in a couple $100,000 a year right now. And down the road, we get the new jail built and be able to house the inmates we could then would generate about $1 million a year.
Okay, if nobody else has anything on that, this lease agreement that was brought to us, Mr. Beller called me this afternoon and said that he wasn't able to make it and that he was going to toss this in our packets. So he didn't have a lot of information on it. There is a Miss Coggins that is their legal for this this project. So we'll know more as this goes on. We don't have a very big timeline because we're also trying to figure it out if we're going to build a tower up on Gravelly Hill, if we're going to use this one, which is up on Morrison, if I'm not mistaken. And it's something that is being built by the state, and this could potentially be a lease agreement that we could use with their tower. And from what I understand, you can have different entities that use it. Like, I know that the EMS uses Verizon, whatever the other entities use, could possibly also use this tower. So more to come on that, but he wanted you guys to go ahead and see this.
But I have a question, and there may be a miscommunication between me and Mr. Yes, but I asked specifically, would that cover that part of the county that the tower doesn't? And he said that he was not saying that it would. And then what I understood the mayor say was they would have phone contact. Well, if you're in a life or death situation, you're not going to have time to pick your phone up and make a phone call. You're going to need your radio. I would think they still need the radio from the knowledge I have at this point, which we don't have it all. They're still going to need the tower so they can use their radio and not have a phone ringing 2 or 3 times in their ear if there's a life or death situation.
Well, I think that's probably more a question for the sheriff. Would the use of a tower there, would that help your radio situation?
Yeah, it'd help it tremendously. We've had a company come in that we deal with that takes care of ours, and they do a layout on 231 North and South, and they're able to show us what how it picks up in different color codes. And 231 North and South is weak, and it would help out a whole lot. The towers that we got, they talk to each other, and it's called simulcast. And you hit off one, it can feed to the other one. Even if you're in a bad spot, if you're not getting a good service from one tower, it can pick up from the other one, and it'll make a big difference. The car radios, mostly the handheld radios, is really what's bad. You get out of a vehicle and you get 100 yards away from the vehicle or 50 yards, you won't be able to pick up because the watts of the radios are so small. We got extra repeaters in the car to pick up, but they're still not strong enough for the towers. Is the problem we're having.
And to be clear, you're saying the tower is what you need, not the
Yeah.
telephone.
Yeah, towers.
Okay, but just be clear that I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying that Morrison Street tower that the state is wanting to put up, that would, if we're able to hook to it, that would solve your problem. And and we wouldn't necessarily have to build one.
Now, Marshall Street's already up there.
Right, but I'm talking about this one, this lease agreement, as I understand, I think that tower there would come down, the state would erect a new one.
No, the one we got on Marshall Street is not about 7, 8 years old. It's new. It's a new tower. We put Pumpkin Hill Tower up in Marshall Street. We got some FEMA grants back when the tornado came, and paid for those towers.
It's my understanding this new thing is only for telephones, not for radio.
Yeah, I'm not talking about telephones. I'm talking about car radios and handheld radios. It's not got anything to do with phones. Now, phone service could come on and hook on to it and pay the county for usage if they wanted to, or anybody else, radio stations, or they could. But what I'm talking about is just for car radios, for all emergency services. It's not just the sheriff's department, fire, rescue, everybody would be using these towers.
We're going to have another tower. There's no way around it. I mean, the phones, we all use our personal cell phones. You know what I mean? So you're out there in Gravel Hill. I don't know what it's going to do from Morrison Street to Gravel Hill or anywhere in that area, but I don't get service up there now. But depending on which carrier you get, I mean, if you're on a hot call, you gotta have another tower. Morrison Street won't work. That's not gonna work for us.
Yeah, it won't pick up good. That's what we're hitting off of mostly, and it's a lot of dead spots.
But the big question that's being asked is, you want to be able to use your radio, if you're out 150 feet from your car.
Yeah, my
You
car
don't wanna
radio.
pick your phone up.
Yeah, my car radio and handheld radio, what we're talking about. And a lot of times we do have to use a cell phone because we don't have service on our radios. I've had to do it myself on 231. Have to call dispatch.
Okay, I think the confusion was, I guess, that, and the reason this lease agreement was even brought up, I think the question came up was, okay, if the state puts whatever they're wanting to put up on that tower, if we're able to hook to that, would that solve the radio problem so that we didn't necessarily have to go out and build our own tower as well? I think that was the question that everyone had.
Yeah, we've got to put our own tower up.
Okay, thank you.
We got a speaker that we're about out of time. We need somebody who wants to talk.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. My name is Greg Clements, and today I'm representing the Hartsville Hope and Healing Alliance. And I have with me a guest, Alexis Woodard, who she's from the Davidson County Alliance. And we wanted to come and talk to you today about the use or distribution of Narcan for situations where persons that you encounter are looking for help. They're under the influence but are looking for help. We're not talking about intervention type situations, but in situations where you encounter somebody that says, I'd really like to get help, where do they go? And so I'm going to ask Alexis to come up and, we have a coalition here in the town, but we don't have recovery services. We don't do the recovery per se. We don't place people yet. But Alexis is in a position where she can. So I'd like Alexis to come up and talk a little bit about what she wants to offer us.
Hi. So I actually work for Williamson Prevention Coalition, and out of that coalition, I service Williamson, Rutherford, Cannon, and Trousdale County. And I work directly with first responders to be a source for them. So the way that it works is I have these cards. If you guys encounter somebody who is using or struggling, if you just give them my card, they can call me and I can get them linked up with whatever services it is that they need. And then my coalition also offers, these are called leave behind bags. So they have Narcan in them, along with xylazine and fentanyl test strips and my card again. So then if somebody has overdosed or somebody that their family member is using drugs, them having Narcan on hand is super helpful. And there's, like I said, my card in there, and also how to use and how to administer the Narcan and how to do CPR. So again, the person can reach out to me. I can do detox residential, long-term, short-term. And I also have resources for like transportation. That's a big barrier. Again, the reason I do this job is because I used to be a drug addict myself. So I was in drug use for 10 years and I've been sober now for 8. So I use my lived experience to kind of help and understand the individuals that I work with. So transportation came up as a huge barrier. So we were able to get grant funding for a transportation company where I can get people picked up and dropped off anywhere within the state of Tennessee. And the other part of my job, besides working with law enforcement, is working with the treatment centers. So I go anywhere from Memphis to Knoxville to visit and build relationships with treatment centers. So I kind of have that direct access to them where, you know, they don't have to go online and fill out an application and wait for a phone interview and somebody to run their insurance and all those things that could kind of prolong them wanting to go. I can just make that call to directly get them there. So in order to get these, we would have to train all first responders on the Narcan and how to use it. And it counts as, is it called service hours? You all do like service hours every year? Yeah, yeah. So it's 2 of those and it's like every other year we ask them to keep up on it. But my cards, you don't need the training for my cards. I can just give you all my cards and you can hand those out or get in contact with me if you want more information. I think I've met you before, so, I don't know, just do you want some cards? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, does anybody have anything else? We need to go ahead and wrap up this meeting.
But I
Oh,
just
sorry.
like to say thank you to them for coming to offer the services for our county. That would be a good
Absolutely.
asset.
Okay, we'll adjourn this meeting.